I know.
Good evening, Nerdvengers. How are we doing tonight? It's your boy, Lavish Black Man, and of course I have company tonight, but remember it is the Den of Nerds Nightly on the Den of Nerds Live, where you get 2 streams a night, and also you get the Darren's Danger Room and After Dark. It's just one of them popping channels. And speaking of Darren's Danger Room, I'm here tonight with the lovely Miss Darren Wood. How we doing?
I've arrived.
She has arrived. So
I'm doing great, trying to contain my that intro. That intro slapped. I was like trying to contain my giddiness, but it tickled me so.
The excitement
Lavish,
of it
special
all.
little spirit.
Well, yes, you know, it gotta be excited.
Dude, today's a hype day.
Yes, very hype. Very, very hype. Because we got
the
that hypest of the hype.
Is real.
Yes, because we got that What If trailer, and I'm gonna tell you what, it's dope.
You tell me what.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is
dude.
dope.
Okay. It's like hard to contain myself. When that trailer came out, that was such a surprise. And we've all been like on this channel kind of like speculating that like what if's gonna be it, you know, like it's gonna be the show, like the thing that like that sleeper hit, you know, that we weren't expecting, but it's just gonna like blow us all away. And this trailer honestly did not disappoint. It was a beefy trailer too.
Very.
That was a beefcake trailer. There was a lot in it.
Yeah.
A lot to go through, break down, tease us with. Like it wasn't no vague, you know, you just might get, so.
Nah, man, like Marvel is starting to stop pulling out the stops and push them out there because we've been needing that, man. Loki was the beginning, and now all of a sudden it seems like they're starting to lean heavier into this multiverse, leading up to the multiverse of madness. So before we get into like watching and breaking down the trailer, how do you feel outside of your excitement? Like, do you have any expectations for the show? Are you looking for something different than what Loki's given us? What's up? What do you think about?
Outside of my excitement, how dare you ask me to do that? I will not get out of my excitement. I will stay in it until the show comes out for a full month. Just be here writing it. Stop. But no, I'm just really excited to see some new interesting, because the animation alone I think looks amazing. Like I feel the same way about it like I did about Into the Spider-Verse, where I was just like, wow, what like an absolute joy to watch, you know, like you get like, because to see a creative use of animation is just so much fun. And it like the animation looks so realistic, like the actors look like, it looks like the actors, but it also looks artistic and creative, and the direction of it looks awesome. And there's just like, so you can go so hard and like go to way many more places in animation. Like animation can just do things that real life stuff cannot.
Right.
And so I'm just excited to see, like, without the limits of budget constraints
Putting that in the book.
and studio constraints, like with just, you know, unbounded what they could do with that animation. And so I really feel like it's going to be like a no holds barred, like totally just like rip roaring fun experience. And I just like me and Josh were talking about this a little bit last night on Darren's Danger Room, where, you know, when you establish so when you're dealing with the multiverse stuff, the cool thing that you can do with it, right, is like we already know these characters and we already have this emotional allegiance and understanding of their story and like how they interact with each other. So you kind of have a leg up when it comes to the narrative. Like you don't have to do all this legwork to like explain what's going on. And so from there, you get to do really interesting things with their characters and take them in really interesting places by like putting them in these completely new environments, but still under like the parameters of stuff that we can understand.
Right.
So I just want to see all these characters that we've like loved for a decade just like stretched and pulled in all these interesting directions. Like, what about you, man? What are you most hyped? What's on the top of your hype list?
I'm most hyped to see how all of this wraps up, how all of this decides it's going to end. Meaning, like, there's like little rumors going around that supposedly like the main characters that we see are supposed to kind of form some kind of group that's supposedly supposed to go through and go through the multiverse, maybe fix some wrongs, just be the heroes of the multiverse. And like looking from at the trailer, it looks like they're gonna have, you know, Peggy Carter's Captain Britain at the helm of that. You're gonna get T'Challa
Mhm.
and you know, getting Party Thor. Like I'm looking forward to seeing all those types of characters kind of go through and do what they do. And but the
Mhm.
one thing for me is I'm kind of curious on how they're going to handle T'Challa's part going forward, because like they
Right.
were able to record a lot of Chadwick Boseman's or everything of Chadwick Boseman for the series. So since he's not there, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to lean more on the King Killmonger type of storyline to go through.
Yeah.
And then maybe they go from there and kind of incorporate him as one of the main heroes. So I'm just really excited to see how Marvel's going to go through and like wrap this up as a total and bring it to the movies and all that stuff. That's my hype train is leading
Yeah,
towards.
that actually makes me like wonder, because I'm not quite sure really like what, if all of these episodes are going to be connected or if they're all going to be their own separate like one-off stories and how they're going to go into that. Because you're right. I mean, like if they wanted to make them more interconnected and they like completed T'Challa's storyline like earlier on when they Chadwick Boseman was still with us, like would they set it up later for Killmonger so he can come back in a way that's like exciting and then like a little more established and a little more comfortable for everyone? I mean, either way though, I feel like um it's gonna be really emotional. It's
Yeah.
gonna be it's like it'll be like hearing a ghost. It's gonna be wild. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. My Marvel heart is not ready. I'll
Yeah.
probably just cry
I'm
like
not ready for it
listening
either.
to it.
Seems like he was gonna have a very
Yeah.
pivotal, very pivotal role in all of this. So it's a little it's bittersweet. It's very bittersweet to see
Yeah.
them have to move
Yeah.
forward without him. But I mean, at the
It's
same
kind of
time,
like
kind of like what?
well, I mean, like, kind of like the way that you could tell, like, the Star Wars sequel trilogy was trying to set up Carrie Fisher, and how, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe was, like, setting up Chadwick Boseman, like, and it was just so exciting. And then it's just like, it makes them not getting to do it that way, like, even more sadder. And you're like mourning for this thing you never got. It's just like
Right.
such a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah. Most
I hate
definitely.
it. But at the same time, what?
At the same
You
time,
said at the same
yeah. At the
time.
same time, I would still like I've been saying, I would still accept something like a King Killmonger to take a Black
Right.
Panther's place. You know what I'm saying? I would still accept that and see how that goes. But you know, since we up here talking about it, let's go ahead and let's break it down and
Yeah, let's go through it.
bam, let's pop that up here. So,
Scene by scene. No, now I'm sitting next to you.
haha,
Hi. Lol.
haha, magic, magic.
The
No
magic
one will ever
of
know.
streaming. But dude, like as we're going into this, like isn't it is truly crazy how many like scenes and little snippets they really did fit into this tiny trailer. Like there's
Yeah,
so much like frame by frame. So so shall
yeah.
we?
Like
Shall we, Lavis?
it
Shall we frame by frame?
most definitely, because so far, like it's looking like it's gonna be something great. Starting off with Iron Man, like I really enjoyed the first Iron Man. I still revisit that very often. So just the fact that we're gonna get to
I
see that
still think
again,
it's one of the best superhero movies
most
still.
definitely. Yeah,
Like it's just a goat. Like it's got amazing rewatch value.
yeah. So here we see in the beginning, it's just like how it always started. You get him and he's trying to save himself, gets hit by the explosion, tries to get some help,
Mhm.
and then he's about to get hit with that little bomb that we all know helped create him in the first place. But of course, something happens, and then boom, you get Killmonger
Are
stepping
you the
in.
watcher now?
Hey, I ought to be Uatu.
You're the watcher now narrating this stuff.
You ought to
And
know
then
that.
this is like a Christmas story. Lavis version.
Yes, I might have to
The
do that
ghost of
this year.
Lavis past.
Might have to do that this year. So you see, they're forming an alliance here. So it's
Y-
like it kind of makes me wonder where they're gonna go with this in the future? Like, is he gonna be a good guy now? Are we gonna get to see the other side of Killmonger when he first came out, being evil, and now all of a sudden he's a good guy? Or is this gonna be something that changes Tony and keeps him from that revelation
Yeah.
that makes him who
I
he
don't know.
is?
I feel like what makes Killmonger is that he's one crafty boy, you know? Like, he's actually smart and he's really good at, like, tactician he's, like, a good tactician and politician, and so is Tony Stark, so I think they're just gonna end up being, like, MIT bros, you know? They're just gonna be like, like, they're gonna you have a little bit of a simpatico, and I don't think that'll probably be the best influence for Tony Stark, in my opinion, probably not, and, like, even if Killmonger is coming from a more hero place.
Right.
I don't know. I could still see him using this moment at like of him saving Tony Stark like against him. Not like against him, but being like, well, I saved your life, so you gotta
Right.
come help me out right now. Like,
Yeah.
I got some stuff for you to do.
Yeah. Most
Like,
definitely.
I need your help.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna try to recruit him and like take over the world. Try to like he was talking about in the first place. Could totally happen.
Ooh, I don't know. The way it looked, like, with the rest of the scenes, like, it did look like we are getting that, like, King Killmonger shit, like, because it does look like from what the scenes look like, it looks like he's fighting to protect, um, Wakanda.
Right.
I don't know what happened to me. Hello?
Oh, where'd you go?
I'm behind the trailer
Oh,
now, because this is behind the scenes footage, you guys,
exactly.
so I'm, like, physically behind it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe if
Bam.
I oh,
Yeah,
slumped out of my
that
chair.
should do it.
Magic.
There we go. That should totally do it. So then we go into seeing Doctor Strange, and this is a little interesting here because they show
What do
him.
you think? What's your speculation for why he goes dark? Because
So
like we've seen in this trailer and just like yeah.
well, for me, I've done a little research, and it
Mhm.
kind of looks like they may be introducing the multiverse a little more heavily in the Doctor Strange episodes. And so
Mm.
you're going to get the version of Doctor Strange that we know. And of course, now that I'm talking about it, I would blank on the name, but the alternate version of Doctor Strange, he has a different name. And that version of
Mhm.
Doctor Strange, it sounds like maybe he lost his wife in that alternate reality, and he tries to go
Yeah.
back in time and save her.
Christine.
Yeah, yeah.
Christine?
I
Christine?
believe
What's her name?
you
Yeah.
might be right, man. You might be right, man. But he
Rachel McAdams.
oh yeah, it's probably who he's married to in that one. Um,
Yeah.
but he tries to go back in time, and like even before he got into his accident back in time, and
Mhm.
that version of him goes dark, and then of course it seems like from there he crosses over with the Doctor Strange that we're used to seeing, and
Right.
that's when they battle from there, and we see which one will come out on top in the end of that.
Well,
Oh,
bro, like later on in the trailer, we see him fighting the ancient one. Like,
yeah, yeah, that's kind of
that's
crazy,
strange. What you doing, bro?
right? Like it's probably is it now when he's battling him. Let's see, we're gonna have to get there because I know when he's battling. I don't know if is that the one we're used to seeing, or is that the one the dark version?
No. You know, when it comes to what if? I don't
Right.
know.
What
It's
if?
like it's so confusing. Like I watch this trailer, it's just gonna be like, you know, but maybe it's a good setup because we're gonna have to strap in and get ready to all this multiversal shit
Right.
anyway.
I
Like
and it
keep
doesn't
up.
seem like
But okay, yes. So this part,
yeah. So this
the
is
this is the part you're excited about, right? Or the one before it where you're talking about like the other Avengers, multiverse Avengers. So who we got? We got Captain Carter,
yeah, you got Captain
Killmonger,
Carter.
T'Challa,
Mm-hmm.
Star Lord, Gamora,
Mm-hmm. And you get the Party Thor.
and I think that's it. Is Party Thor gonna be in that Avengers?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and I believe you're even going to get a version of Black Widow, like we kind of see here,
Hmm.
when Hulk kind of hulks out. Uh,
Yeah.
and later when you see her in the trailer, she's in like different garb. She's kind of armored out, and she's got a shield with her, and she will be tossing that around and doing what it do. But there's a lot of multiversal
Yeah.
stuff going on, and apparently my computer today does not want to cooperate
Hey,
and deal with it.
Lavis's computer. We're trying to do some stuff right now. Hey, chat. Can you tell Lavis's computer to like get it together?
It needs
Be
to.
professional here.
Yeah,
Like,
like it's acting like
but
something
yeah,
bad all
no,
night.
that was another cool thing that I was like watching some like, trailer breakdowns where it was like frame by frame by frame. And it looked like Black Widow's shield was like she's like in like she's in like kind of like a Russian Captain
Yeah.
America-ish outfit. And she also has like a similar shield, but it's got like a Russian star on it. So I'm just like, what, like this is just so wild. Like, and it also looks like a lot of these episodes are going to be like fighting these Ultron bots, like because it's like Party Thor is fighting the Ultron
Mm-hmm.
bots. You got like Black Widow and Hulk fighting the Ultron bots. I think Killmonger too. It's hard to see, but it kind of like
Okay, so the scenes that they
maybe looks
show
like it. And then like these Avengers.
with Killmonger, those scenes with Killmonger, it looks like he's in Wakanda actually, and he's kind of teamed up more with
Exactly. Yeah.
with Tony Stark. So, but it's kind of hard to tell which side he's on. Like they're speculating that
Yep.
maybe he's going up against Ultron and maybe trying to save Wakanda. And
Hmm.
T'Challa's mother is actually leading the Wakandans into battle. It's not a Black Panther like it normally would be. So the speculation there is, maybe he's there and trying to take over Wakanda, or maybe he's there trying to stop Ultron from taking over Wakanda, and then because of that trope on that end, it turns him into the good guy, and then he goes and fulfills the King Killmonger version. He still stays in the Killmonger outfit, but he leads and rules over Wakanda.
Yeah. I mean, I like that version better. Like I do hope that we get Michael B. Jordan back, because I think that would be I'm into that choice for like recasting Black Panther as Killmonger. And so this, if this is the kind of way to like set it up, like gently show, because it's just like, he is, at the end of the day, he is like a proud Wakandan, so he would do whatever it takes to like save it, and but that would put him in the good graces of everybody else and get everybody working together. One of the other shots from the trailer was like, it was like I think it was Shuri and like the
Mm-hmm.
Dora Milaje, but then it was like Pepper Potts. I was like, what? So that's what I'm like, okay, like, yeah. So definitely probably gonna have some Iron Man Killmonger team up to save Wakanda, which I am here for.
Oh yeah, most
Definitely here
definitely.
for.
I'd love to see every bit of that. And I'm also curious on how they're going to do Gamora, because you don't really get to see too much of her in the trailer.
Right.
And it kind of makes you wonder. So they, of course, she died in Infinity War. They brought her back in Endgame, but then she completely disappears. And supposedly that's Star
Hmm.
Lord's little search now from there will be to go and try to find her. But it makes me wonder if maybe because she's already an alternate version, are they going to pick up that version of her and include her in, or are they completing a different story with her to bring her in? Because they call her daughter of Thanos. So
Yeah.
it seems like she could
Back with me on the
magic
screen.
back again, back on the screen. I'll try to figure this out. I'm saying this, all of these multiversal implications, so my computer's not
All
catching
of
up with
these
it.
multiversal your computer can't handle it. It was like too
Uh,
much, too many theories, too many strings.
yeah,
I
cannot compute.
shut it down.
We cannot compute.
uh
But
but yeah, I know. I did notice that they did leave Gamora out. So I'm like, I wonder if her storyline is just like a little too spicy, meaning like putting her stuff in the trailer would give too much away.
right,
So yeah. I am very curious how they're going to play that out. But I am excited to see this version of Gamora, because this is like the Gamora that's, I kind of know and love from the comics. Like she's just like
Right.
a bad bitch, and she comes in, she's just like slaying all these hoes. And just like she's super powerful and she's crazy and she's a force to be reckoned with. And we don't really get to see that ever in the Guardians of the Galaxy's movies. Like we obviously she can like hold her own and stuff, but we never really see her like go off. And
Right.
I'm like, I want to see it.
Yeah, no, I definitely would like to see that too. I do feel like she was oversimplified and watered down for what they did in the Guardians of the Galaxy. It would have been nice to
Mhm.
if that during that we got to see her a little bit more interact with Thanos and kind of flesh her
Yeah.
out a bit. So, this could be their chance actually to give you more of a
Yeah.
comic book accurate version of a lot of these characters. To be honest, uh, because it's
Hmm.
animation, so there's so much more that you can do within animation that's kind of harder to do or harder to sell
Right.
when you're trying to do it in live action. So, uh, seeing what they're going to do with her is going to be really, really interesting. And it seems like they're kind of circulating around, like I said, who they consider to be the main characters. And from there, you get a little image of Spider Man kind of swooping in and
Right.
shooting them webs up. And to me, to be honest, like if I didn't watch any breakdowns, I probably would have came on here and been like, I think that's Andrew Garfield because they kind of aged him out a little bit on there. He doesn't really look as young, or at least like the Tom Holland version, too much.
Y Yeah, that was like I was having a similar thing where I wasn't exactly sure because it's like he did look older, but I don't know if that's just like an effect of the animation and they're trying to keep him the same age. We honestly
Right.
didn't really even see that much of Spider-Man. We just saw that like one scene where he's like, "Phew," and then like him in the cape. So you're like, okay, so he's definitely gonna be hanging out with Doctor Strange while he's wilding out, but like I don't really know. There's a few things that I just like it's so
It's up in the air.
abstract right now. It's hard to say. Like, what is it like the Ant-Man head in the jar? You're just
Yeah,
like, what?
yeah,
And then just like move on. And you're like, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I
yeah.
supposed to-
Like nobody knows why Scott Lang's head is in that jar. It's kind of like,
Oh,
begs the question: what if they made an Ant-Man head superhero or something? Like, or maybe Hank Pym got really tired of him and was like, yeah, since
you
you
know
wanted to
what?
mess up my suit, you got ahead of yourself.
Guys,
Let me slow you down a
all
little
we
bit.
really need is your brain. So I'm just gonna keep that and then everything else.
Right, but in
I don't
typical
need that. I
Scott
get
Lang
it.
form, he is in a good mood, saying, "Hey, what's up?" So, I mean,
Happy to be here.
what kind of mood can you be? You don't have the weight. You don't have no weight on your shoulders. It's kind of easy to be in a good
Well,
mood.
since the computer does it just wants to throw hands right now. Let's go through this list of things that I like, took some notes of things that stood out. So we had Killmonger and Iron Man definitely teaming up in Wakanda. Pepper Potts is there with the Dora Milaje. It looks like they might be fighting the Scarlet Witch. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, that is an interesting take because it looks like I still don't know what the story is going to be with these Ultron bots. It kind of looks like these Ultron bots are going to span multiple episodes, so which makes me think like this might be like a larger story at play. And if that's the case, then maybe it's like, Wanda stayed on his side, and so she went like full Ultron crazy. And so they're trying to fight her, which would just be absolutely wild. And that this is another thing that like it's so hard because for this multiverse of madness stuff, it's just like we're gonna see her being a villain here and then a different kind of villain and multiverse of madness, like the multi
Yeah.
implications of all these fights. I don't know. You excited to see some Scarlet Witch action?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially since it's going to be animated. Like I said, I want to see what kind of things are they going to make her do that they didn't do in. Of course, they didn't do it in the show because where she's at. But are we going to get like a multiversal version of her that actually knows what she's doing and uses her powers? Because I'm
Yeah.
used to the old like '90s cartoons and stuff like that, to where she was already
Mm,
established as a hero. She knows what she did. Of course, back then the animation wasn't all that great, but she was doing what it do. So I'd love to see them kind of bust her out in this verse and let her do it. But Is she on our side? Is she a villain? What is
Doesn't
happening?
look like she's on our side. She looks like she's tripping.
Yeah,
Like she looks like
yeah,
she like 'cause she was like Pya! Like when she in that one scene. But I am super stoked to see some animated chaos magic. That seems super sick.
yeah,
Going back to Doctor Strange, I think you're on the money with him going back in time to thing could do that to go save his wife because
yeah.
he definitely looked like he was using the time stone. Um, oh, we didn't talk about T'Challa and Yondu. Thoughts?
Oh yeah.
Thoughts on the T'Challa Yondu team up? I'm very excited.
Well, to be honest, okay, so looking at that, it looks like he actually treats T'Challa more like an equal compared to how he treated Star-Lord, because, Star-Lord grew up kind of fearing him in
Hmm.
ways because, he told him he was going to eat him if he stepped out of line and blah, 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 blah. Of course, Star-Lord still did what he wanted, but it seems like this kind
Hmm.
of T'Challa, he was able to be controlled a bit by fear. But since he kind of finds him already exploring and he's not scared of Yondu or any of them at all, uh, I feel like maybe he kind of puts him on his own little pedestal and probably actually fathers him more. Plus, it kind of makes me wonder how they meet because of course he goes and pretty much kidnaps Star Lord, and he's supposed to
Right.
turn him over to Ego, but this is a completely different kid, completely different way that he meets him. Is he supposed to be there? Are they there for the stone that the kid's looking for? You know what I'm saying? So it kind of changes that
Yeah.
dynamic if you really look at it, because it's not the Star Lord that we're used to. It's the T'Challa vibranium holding uh, version of a Star Lord, and then that kind of feeds into again where we see his mother that's leading the charge in Wakanda instead of
Hmm.
seeing him. So obviously, she never wed and never had another kid. So like all of this,
Yeah.
what if? Although I think we're getting, of course, different multiverses, it seems like, and this has happened before in the comics, even though Uatu is like, I'm watching. I ain't gonna do nothing about it. I'm just gonna sit back. Ain't nothing happening. Nothing popping off. It seems like he still goes against that
Yeah.
rule anyway, and kind of
Hmm.
pulls them together and tells them what's going on, and that's how they all meet and become that Guardians of the Multiverse that's kind of speculated on going out. Because you see Peggy Carter talking to Doctor Strange later. So, and
Yeah.
it kind of seems when you kind of look at some of the cut scenes of Uatu and the rest of them, there's certain scenes where it looks like he's he's not just talking to the audience. It's not just a narration. It's more or less we're getting probably some of the actual voice clips of him explaining to them maybe why he pulled them out of their multiverse or whatever the case from there. So
Ooh.
it's a lot to
So you think he's
unpack.
gonna interfere?
Mm-hmm.
Those are some really interesting points.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually. I do like that idea of like a dynamic where it's more of like a peer to peer thing instead of like this, like, scared son, dad, father figure kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they become more of like, yeah, like a ragtag Guardians of the Galaxy instead of like this whole storyline with them like fostering from a child. Cause yeah, because like if his mom's still there, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he was kidnapped, or maybe he just found them on his own. Maybe he like ran away. I don't know. But
Yeah.
there's also I don't know. I don't know if I'm on the same the Uatu's gonna interfere about. I feel like it's going to be like a Christmas story where like, they're just like narrating it from afar, where it's just like "'Twas the night before Christmas,"
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we get
and
Adam
I don't know if
Sandler.
he's gonna interfere.
We'll probably get Adam Sandler Spider Man to come in and do that. Be 10 crazy episodes of 8 Crazy Nights all over again, Marvel style.
Oh my god.
That would be dope. But
Wow, what a deep cut throwback.
right. But
You
yeah.
youngins don't understand.
No, everybody's talking about, huh? What? 8 Crazy Nights? What's that? I never heard of that. I thought we were getting 10 episodes. Why are we getting 8 Crazy Nights? That doesn't make sense. Do it again, Lavis. Try it again. Uh but no, I mean, like, yeah, definitely changes the dynamic of how they meet, why, and where things would be going. It would make better sense if that had happened, that through the course of events, that Killmonger would kind of just easily or some kind of way be a ruler of Wakanda. and just like from there, those are the only pieces that we seem like we could put together between T'Challa and Killmonger and the Guardians and what's going out there with, like I said, in Wakanda. But I mean, it all looks pretty dope, and it seems like they're going to be focusing. It seems like the ones that they put in the trailer, like I said, are going to be like the main people that they kind of focus on.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really dope seeing my man T'Challa Star-Lord stepping off the ship. He's got Yondu's out there with Taser Face, like they're
Taser. I was like,
Taser Face. Like gotta love it.
I love it when they do a cheeky throw in like that. It's so good.
Yeah.
But let's see what else we got here. We also had Black Widow and Hulk. It's unclear what Black Widow's role is going to be. It kind of seems like she's going to be on the Hydra side, maybe more like a Russian Captain America. And then the Hulk is with her, so I don't know if that means he's on their side as well. But it looks like they both end up fighting the Ultron bots anyway. So either way, they're going to be like coming together and teaming up with everybody. Because I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a lady. I just really, I still want the Bruce and Natasha romance. I never got it. Like they like Joss Whedon started it, and then the Russo brothers were like, I don't know, yeah, we just gotta push it aside. And you know what? I still want to see it.
Yeah.
I want it. What if we could have that romance?
What if we got that? Well, I mean, he does Hulk out in front of her, and she's in like a Air Force type outfit. So who knows, man? I mean, she might be scared of him in that moment, but maybe he don't jack her up too bad like he didn't in the first one.
Yeah.
And you know, you get,
and then she's like, "Sun's getting real low."
Right. Yeah. Or she just get mad at him. We won't get it at all because he slapped her up against the wall again, and she's like, you know, I'm tired of this. Not doing this no more. Out of here. That's most likely how that would probably go.
And then what was it? We got Captain Carter with the skinny Steve Rogers and that like Hulkbuster looking Iron Man suit flying over shit. And then Captain Carter like fighting a tentacle monster, which kind of looks like I don't know if you've ever read like the Jason Aaron Doctor Strange comics. There's a lot of like tentacly looking like weird creatures like that it kind of looks like that reminded me of. So
yeah,
Skinny Steve Rogers.
Skinny Steve Rogers is gonna. I don't know how that's gonna play out. I mean, it seemed like she liked him for his personality in the first place. So if they keep that dynamic, that would be kind of interesting to see. But obviously, I don't think that's gonna last long.
She loves him no matter what.
I mean, hey, and she's got all the strength in the world, so her heart must be really, really strong as well. So that super soldier serum only brought out the best of her, of course. So
that's always the hero trope, though. They're always like fall in love with somebody like average, and they're like, it's just because true love, you know? Because for some reason Thor fell in love with Jane, what's her fuck, and Thor because she was a scientist. Like, who knows? But
right.
Thor is definitely going to be wilding out, though. It looked like he was fighting people in Vegas, which is like,
hey, I bet you he'd love to go to Vegas for sure. You don't get to see Thor in Vegas, or you don't get to see that at all. Most you get to see him party is in the tower, and that didn't last very long when Ultron showed up.
Yeah,
at all. So, but I got a question for you. How do you think, speaking of their little love dynamic, how do you think that that's going to end? Do you think that we're going to get the first episode where they go out and they fight a version of Red Skull? Maybe she's got to down a plane to get frozen, but before she gets frozen, she gets pulled out by Uatu? Or do you think that Steve is going to be able to follow her through the multiverse?
Oh, yeah, because like she is like fighting what looks like Nazis. Like she's definitely in like World War II era in the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, like how is their inside burp? I don't know. From what it looks like, I feel like if he went with her, he would be fighting alongside of her. And when she was fighting that like tentacle fucking Shumagora looking,
everybody thinks
whatever that is.
It's
I don't know. It looks like she's with Doctor Strange. Yeah, I mean, it's very likely. I mean, she is with like Doctor Strange, so it makes like it makes sense. I feel like he would be there because he's Steve Rogers. So like, even if he couldn't hold his own, he would still want to help.
Right.
And so since we didn't really see him there, I don't think he followed her. So maybe she's gonna flip it. She's gonna be the one like, I never got that dance. And just
Right.
pining over him centuries later.
Right. She's gonna be like, "You gotta take me back to my time when I'm done doing this, so I can have that dance." And he can
Gotta get
stand
that
on her.
dance.
Right. Gonna save the last dance. They're gonna be in. This is what we're gonna. This is the alternate version where they bop back and forth instead of doing the slow dance.
Yeah.
That'll be funny to see.
Oh, you mean they're like gonna show up and just be like,
Yeah. Yeah. Be like, I'm gonna teach you how to dance, Steve. I compromise where I can, and where I don't, I'll teach you to dance. In one of those moments, we'll do it.
Well, fantastic English accent there,
Wow.
Lavis. Wow.
Is it?
I'll
I
teach
try.
you how to dance.
Right, how to dance. You gotta add all those extra letters
But
to make
yeah,
it work.
I mean, like, I feel like that was about it, other than like other quick scenes. Like, I feel like there was a few quick scenes. Like, there was Loki at the UN, also maybe fighting like Nick Fury and Shield people. Scott laying Ant-Man head in a jar, Vision ripping his Mind Stone out, Howard the Duck, Armin Zola, like all these quick flashes of things that didn't really show much in the trailer that don't really know what oh, and the zombies. I almost forgot about the zombies.
Yeah, can't forget about the
Zombie Cap and
zombies.
Iron Man. What do you think that's about?
Oh man, I don't know. That one is kind of a little off my radar on what it is. If I had to speculate, it seems like that's whatever Winter Soldier's reality is, and they're probably going to dive a bit into the zombie verse there, and it would make sense for Winter Soldier to be able to make it through some kind of a zombie apocalypse. Kind of sucks that the homie Cap and everybody else didn't make it, but that would stand the reason on why he's got to get pulled out and possibly join that team, because I don't think that we get to see everybody who's probably going to be on that Guardians panel for the multiverse. I think Winter Soldier could totally be in it. I seen a picture of Spider-Man wearing the Doctor Strange cape. So I don't know. If I had to speculate, I would just say that maybe he is out there just kicking ass in that verse before he gets saved. They didn't really give us too much to go on with that, but it's always dope we getting zombies, man.
Dude, I too am at a loss when it comes to those Zambam Bombies. So, you guys in the chat, you let us know what you think those zombies are about. I'm curious to see what everyone else here is speculating about, but
yeah.
I think there's so much more. I feel like we can go back and do this what if trailer for like days, but I feel like those were like the main points of that.
Yeah, most definitely. On going back, I can probably do this all week for sure until we get it. Apparently, we had a confirmed date too for when it was coming out.
Oh, August 11th.
Yep. So
August 11th is coming, guys. Get ready.
I'm definitely going to be here for that, looking for all of that, because what if, like, out of all the shows, to be honest, like, I thought Loki was going to be dope, so far it is, but what if was that show for me. When I heard that they were making that, I'm ready for it. Totally here.
So we kind of talked about a little bit about, the King Killmonger in the beginning, but I guess that can kind of like go into some of the stuff that came out today, right? It was in Murphy's Multiverse. We talked about they started filming in Massachusetts, and so there's some like speculation that it might be going down at like the MIT there, because that's where both were like Tony Stark and Killmonger both went to MIT or studied at MIT. And then there was also something else that came out about Angela Bassett saying how the script has been, I think she said, rewritten like 5 different times, as they're trying to find like the best way to honor Chadwick Boseman and to like really do it right and really kind of, take his legacy, but like also move it in a progressive direction. So yeah, like, what are your thoughts on all that? Like, what are you hoping for in your King Killmonger dreams, right? Like, what are you hoping for in the way that they like, respect his legacy, but then also like setting up possibly Michael B. Jordan to go forward and take that mantle?
I mean, for me, I think it's kind of leaning into what I've been saying since the beginning, since we kind of did it. I think I might have fudged up though. I think Streamlabs
Oh.
crashed on me.